All right, listen up. In the words of your fellow yogis, this takes about 30 seconds. Jan, I'm pushing 72 years old. It's hard for me to comprehend. Having two daughters, 47 and 45 years old, and 7 grandkids, with 3 of them in college, quickly grounds me back into reality. But I don't want to give up and succumb to inactivity yet. My mind still feels young. I still feel a desire to remain independently active in daily living and hobbies. That's why I find yoga so vital for me at this stage of my life. I'm unwilling to slow down, if not physically forced to. My daughters urge, Dad, when are you going to sell your motorcycle? Dad, when are you going to stop surfing? When are you going to start doing an age-appropriate activity? Dad, when are you going to hire somebody to care for the lawn? Dad, relax, travel, do more sedentary activities. You've earned it. As an ex-nursing home administrator, I'm well aware of the unforgiving and rapid decline of one's body once it ceases being used. It is essential for my continued life, as long as God allows me to live, to continue flexing and strengthening and pushing to my limits this aging body. Yoga is currently the only way for me to successfully achieve longevity. All right, don't you love it? I sure do. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga. It's your yoga from home. You're going to do what's right for your body to keep that body, slow down that ticking clock of aging. Keep moving. That's what keeps you healthy. That's what keeps you happy. And as you move, you feel better in your head too. As I said, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. It's your yoga from home. You're doing it your way. As the bottom of the screen says, just do what's right for your body. Do what you like. Do what, just feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, back out of it. Don't do it. Some poses are harder. Some poses maybe you're just not ready to do. But whatever you do, here's the word to think about. Breathe through. Breathe through it. It's all we can do with a lot of things, right? Just get through, endure, hang on, and focus on the breath, right? It hasn't failed you yet. Keep at it. Okay, so that's the word. Here are the props. Today's practice is strength and mobility. We're flexibility and mobility, and you're gaining strength too. And we're focusing kind of on the hips and the shoulders, so it all works. Eye shade, little hand towel. Those are great for your final shavasana. And the towel, you can use it to make your arms longer or to put under your knees in our lunge pose, because we're going to do that because that's good for our hips. 2 yoga blocks, your strap. If you don't have a strap, you can have your resistance band. Remember, we've used those in the past. You could have a resistance band, you could have a belt, you could have a jump rope, you could have the belt to your robe. Maybe you're still wearing your robe. It's all good. All right, have some water handy too, and let's go. Today's practice, we're all seated with an exception for a little bit of balancing if you want to do it. You can come up to standing. I'll give you some alternatives if you don't want to stand up. So in your seated position, sit however is comfortable for you. I'm going to sit with my legs crossed in a Sukhasana position. So all that is crisscrossing your legs. Now you can crisscross your legs however you like. You could sit back on your heels with your knees bent. You could have your legs extended. For Sukhasana pose, you bend both knees pretty deeply, and you bring one foot up on top of the opposite leg, and then the other foot can come up on top of the opposite leg too. I don't bend that way, so it's not for me. I'm not doing it. You could slip a block underneath a knee. Take a deep breath in. Stress number. What are you feeling now in your body? Scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Lock it in, and we'll come back to it at the end. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And a deep sighing breath out through your mouth. Let it go. Just let it go. All right, your arms. Now, you can use your strap if you want. I'm going to use my strap just for fun. Reach your arms high up to the sky. Reach your arms high up to the sky. I don't know if you can see my hands. Reach them high up to the sky. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Maybe close your eyes. Arms are lifted. And if you don't have the strap, no big deal. Reach up like an extended mountain. Reach your fingers toward the sky. I'm just going to hold on to the strap. Breathe in, breathe out. Now start to sway a little bit from side to side. You could plant one hand down on the ground if you're not using the strap, and stretch through the opposite side as you let your arms cross the midline of your body. Little stretches. Try to keep both bottom cheeks down. Just move through the arms, move through the ribs. You got it. I'm going to create a little more space between my hands and this strap. Kind of pulling on it, keeping it a little taut. Just going side to side and kind of find your balance a little bit too. Maybe the arms reach more to the side. Maybe that bottom arm is pulling on that strap, pulling the top arm down a little more. Breathe. Little side bends. And you know what? If you don't have the strap, here's something else you could do. You could pull on your wrist. Cross the midline of the body. Pull on the wrist. Just want to feel some goodness here. Come on back. Arms lifted, high to the sky. You can ditch your strap. And then place your hands down in front of you. Place them down on the block or on the ground. You can walk your hands forward. You can scoot the block forward. And just slow down here. Maybe close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a deep sighing breath out. Sighing it out lets the stress go. And then eventually, maybe you want to wait till your child's pose position, or maybe you want to do it now. Close your lips. And breathe in and out of your nose. Maybe scoot the block a little farther forward. I hope this is a good stretch for you. Maybe you're feeling it in whichever leg you got on top. I've got my right leg on top, and I'm really feeling it in my right glutes. Breathe in, breathe out. No rush, no hurry. You've committed to your time here on your mat. Make it work for you. Be in the present moment. Enjoy this time. Enjoy this stretch. Slowly make your way, sliding the block or your hands back to the midline. Bring your hands behind you. Open up your chest to the front of your room. Look up to the sky. Stretch the front of your neck. Little, teeny, gentle baby back bend. All right. Come on. Shoulders over your hips. Grab your strap again if you want. And if you don't have a strap or don't want to, just start to do some big arm circles. Drawing little circles to the sides of the room. Draw them forward and back, whatever works. I'm going to take the strap again. I'm just going to pull it tightly. I'm just going to look up, bring the strap a little forward. I don't know what feels good for you. Only you do. You know what I'm going to say. You're your own best teacher. Just move the strap, move the arms to what feels good in your shoulders. Maybe not much feels good in your shoulders. Maybe you got your arms bent. And you're moving your strap gently. Maybe no strap at all. Maybe you're doing those arm circles. I've got the strap in my hand. Maybe you got that resistance band. Resistance band's kind of nice because it's kind of, it's stretchy. It bounces. I'm going to bring my shoulders back. I'm going to bring them down toward my waist. And bring them on back up. Find mobility in your shoulders, however is best for you today. It doesn't matter how it looks. What matters is how it feels. And let go of the I should do this, or it should look like that, or I got to do it this way. You do what feels right for you. Find your shoulder mobility. Now, if you're circling your arms, maybe it's time to give yourself a big hug. You would tee out your arms, one arm on top of the other, fingers toward your spine, and then soften in your shoulders. Big hug on the other side, other arm on top. And you know what? It's your practice, so if this shoulder thing's really kind of working some magic, stay here and continue to do it. I'm going to floss my shoulders next. Maybe that is something you'd like to do too. You can use your towel or your strap to do that. Bring the towel or the strap into one hand. Bend the elbow, bring the elbow, hug it up high near your ear. Other hand reaches around and captures the strap or the towel. And you're going to move the towel up and down, flossing like dental floss, right? Flossing your shoulders. Switch it around to the other side. Towel in the other hand, up by the ear. The elbow is. Bring the hand behind you and move it up and down. Floss your shoulders. Shoulder mobility is so important. All right, how are your hips doing? Oh yeah, they're doing well. Now don't you feel, all right, go ahead and finish flossing or whatever it is you're doing with your arms. Don't you feel more settled in your hips now? We've had our mind off of our hips. We've been working the shoulders. But don't you feel more relaxed in the hips? I hope that's the case. All right, switch out your legs however you had them. One leg on top, the other on the bottom. Switch it out so you're just the opposite. Or maybe, you've been seated on your heels and now you want to extend your legs. It's all right. Sit however's comfortable. It's all working to keep you in shape. All right, slip a block under the knee if you like. We've talked about half-size blocks. They're really three-quarter size blocks. You can slip that under your knee because maybe the one block is too high, maybe no blocks is a little too low. The Goldilocks moment. Get it just right. All right, maybe lengthen up. Hold on to your strap or not, reach through your fingers, maybe, raise one hand higher than the other and just kind of wiggle on up. And with the strap, you can be going side to side. With no strap at all, you can be capturing one wrist, pulling the arm to one side, coming back to the midline, crossing the body, pulling the wrist of the other with the other hand. And back and forth. Maybe you want to place one hand on the ground and reach across the midline. Feel what you feel. And it should feel good. You want to lengthen up. Feel the stretch between the ribs. Relax. Don't stress over it. Maybe your movements are way bigger than mine, or maybe they're way smaller. It's all good. I'm just holding space on your mat for you to move your body. You could even be seated in a chair. Just move your arms. And do you like using the strap? Do you like using the resistance band? Resistance band is just like a big rubber band. Breathe. Move your shoulders. Maybe it's arm circles for you. Decide what feels right. And don't stress over it. All right, so moved a little bit side to side. Got those shoulders going, however feels good. Let's do the forward fold again. Maybe push the block forward. Soften in your jaws, soften in your shoulders. And even think of softening in your hips, in your backside. As you take a full exhale, belly button to your spine. Don't stress over the intense stretch. Let it go. Say, oh yeah, that's good. That's what it's supposed to feel like. As long as you're not in pain, A+. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe push the block even farther forward. No block at all, no big deal. Put your hands on the ground. Your spine is long, your breath is deep. You have great mobility in your body, and it's getting even greater, even better with each breath. Breathe through it. As you're ready, slowly walk your hands or the block back on up toward your ankles as you come to seated, shoulders over your hips. Flush your shoulders if you like, or go back to one of the other movements that feel really good. Maybe you just hug your elbow in and give yourself a pat on the back. Maybe you reach the other arm around with your towel or your strap, or maybe no strap at all, and you reach for the fingers. That's good too, called a cow face pose. Do the other side, elbow up by the ear, and just help it get there. Grab your strap or your towel and do a little flossing on this side. And it's important to shake things up. It's important to do things differently. Don't always do things the same way. All right, we did a forward fold as we reached our arms forward. Now we're flossing our shoulders. But let's not forget, go ahead and remove your towel or whatever you used, to take the little back bend too. Just shake it up. Fingertips on the ground behind you. Look up with your chin up to the sky. Little back bend, chest lifts, hips relax. Breathe in, breathe out. and then shoulders back over your hips. And you know, you don't always have to take something to 100%. Don't always think, I got to push farther, farther, farther. Let it go. Let it go. Shake it up. Your mind. Make your mind wonder what's coming next. So hands on your knees. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Think of your knees coming even closer to the ground. If you got that block under your knee because you wanted that support, maybe try to sneak it out and see. Do the knees feel okay now? Breathe in, breathe out. Like every good thing, it just takes time, and you've got to take the time to let the body relax into the pose. All right, so how you doing? Let's come out of this pose. Whichever variation you're in, let's come out of it. I'm going to go into a thunderbolt pose. If you've been in a thunderbolt, come out of it and shake it up. Maybe extend your legs long, or just try a brief little crisscross in the knees. So I'm going to sit back on my heels. I'm going to do a little bit with the neck. All right, your neck. 8 to 12 pounds sits on your shoulders. Now your neck, the muscles in your neck are holding it here, right? But how many of us take our phones and do this all day, right? I'm guilty. We're all guilty. Even if you're reading a book or doing a crossword puzzle, you hang your head down. Don't do that. Strong muscles in the neck. You want to work them. Bring your phone up so your head is over your shoulders. Think about it. I'm going to haunt you with that thought all day today as you go about. When your head's down here, lift your phone up. Look straight ahead. Breathe. Nestle your head right on your shoulders. Hands on your knees. Close your eyes. If it feels all right for you, I know some of y'all have vertigo and this doesn't feel so great to have the eyes closed. Turn your head right to left, left to right. Now your shoulders, you're holding them tight, let them go. Look this way, look that way, left, right. And you know, your neck has those little crunchies in them, at least mine does. Long as it doesn't hurt, it's okay. That's true about anything, right? Don't let it hurt. Look left, look right, look left. Come back to center. Tuck your chin to your chest, then lift your chin up to the sky. Chin to chest, then lift it up. Movement here. So we've gone left to right. We've gone up and down. Let's help the left to right by making it go a little further. Bring your head back to a neutral position. Soften in your shoulders. Lift the peace fingers up on your left hand. Bring it to the outside of your right jaw. Little peace fingers here. Turn and look to the left. And let those fingers kind of nudge the jaw just a little bit more. Maybe your eyes are closed, or maybe you're using your eyes. If you're using your eyes, let your eyes move too. Let them look more over your right shoulder, really far, or over your left shoulder, really far back. Finish up, hands back to your knees, you're back at the midline. Lengthen up through your spine, good head on your shoulders. Turn your head to the right. Take your right fingers, peace fingers, to the outside of your left jaw. Lengthen up and twist. Soften in the left shoulder. Little nudge does wonders, right? And then finish. Head back to the midline of the body. Now do whatever you want with your neck. Maybe you decide to turn it left to right, maybe up and down. Maybe circle your head on your shoulders in one direction, then take it in the other. Just move your neck. Really, you really want to be able to look behind you, look up, look down, look all around. Move your neck. This is the time to do it. Because I think a lot of times you're just moving your neck. A lot of times when we want to look, we'll turn our shoulders too and look. Now your shoulders are stationary and you're just moving the neck. All right, finish up. That's a lot for your neck. And it's been a lot for your knees. And you don't even realize it, right? You get your mind off of it like we do in toes pose. So let's come down to a child's pose. All right, just how does your neck feel? How do your shoulders feel? Just kind of move them a little bit, shrug them around. Movement. It's the key to happiness. All right, knees together, hips back to your heels. Come on down, child's pose, classic child's pose. Maybe your knees are together, your big toes are together. You lower down to your block, arms down by your sides, and guess what? Shoulders away from your ears, palms face up. Reach your fingers a 1/10 of an inch further down to the bottom of your mat. Block can be under your forehead. You can have a half-size block to work a little lower, or bring your forehead all the way down to your mat. Oh, that mat's a long way down, so maybe put a block there. Breathe here in your classic child's pose. Come back to that Ujjayi Pranayama breath if you like. Let it go. Let's get back into the shoulders. Let's take our blocks to the top of the mat. You can keep your knees together if you want. There's no hard, fast rules. You do what feels good. I'm going to spread my knees good and wide. Sink my hips back to my heels. Spread your knees as wide as feels right. I'm going to use these blocks at the top of my mat. I'm going to put my hands on them, and I'm going to sink my forehead down to the mat. You don't have to use the blocks. You can ditch them and put your hands on your mat. You could have your forehead on the block. Just, get into whatever feels right. Lengthen in your spine. Breathe. Big breaths in, big breaths out. Come back to your child's pose anytime you like. I'm going to press out of this child's pose. Now I'm going to come into a neutral tabletop position. I'm going to do cat-cow. All right, your cat-cow pose. Leave your blocks maybe at the top of your mat. For your neutral tabletop, put your shoulders over your wrists, your knees under your hips. Push the earth away with the tops of your feet and your hands to create a flat tabletop in your back. For cat pose, you're going to tuck your chin to your chest. We did that a little earlier. And you're going to scoop your belly away and draw your tailbone under, arching your back up to the sky. Take an exhale to do cat, which is your tailbone and the crown of your head lifting. Do a couple cat-cows, knowing the goodness that you're bringing to your spine with this movement. Push into the earth with all four limbs. I think cat feels especially good. Nice in the shoulders. Think of how your shoulders are moving here. They're protracting and retracting. Breathe. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And then finish neutral tabletop. Or keep doing your cat-cow if that feels good. Give yourself permission to do that. I'm going to extend my right leg long, press the ball of my right foot into the mat. I'm going to soften in the hips, allowing both hips to be equal distant to the mat, keeping my shoulders over my wrists, spreading my hands wide, little gecko grip, kind of a little bend in my fingers. Here, breathe. The right leg that's extended, going to cross the midline of my body, pressing the ball of the foot into the earth on the left side. I'm going to look over my left shoulder, keeping the weight equally pressed into both hands. Look over my left shoulder and allow the stretch to feel really good in my side body. I'm looking back to my foot. Maybe I look to my knee. Maybe I try to look to my bottom. Swing the right leg around, bring it to whatever feels good. Maybe hip height feels right. Lift the arm up to the sky, take a twist, and look up to your hand. Bring the hand down, bring the knee back to meet the foundation knee, and let's do the other side. Left leg extends, ball of the foot presses into the mat. Stay here, you almost feel like you're a sprinter about to take off. Feel the goodness all up that back left leg. And don't forget your right foot. Push the top of that foot into the mat because you're engaged with the ground here. Breathe. Left foot crosses the midline of the body. Press the ball of the foot into the earth. Hands have the weight equally distributed in them. Look over your right shoulder as best you can. Maybe you just look to the right corner of your mat. Maybe you can take it a little farther and look back to your foot. Maybe to your knee. Maybe to your bottom. Big stretch. Feel the goodness up your left side. Sweep the left leg around and around and around. Bring it on up to about hip height if that feels good. Maybe less to hip height. Lift the left arm up. Look up. Look up. Breathe. Plant the left hand. Bring the left knee back to meet the right. There is your cat-cow with your leg extensions. Let's do bird dog now. You've got the blocks at the top of your mat for your bird dog pose. Let's start with the right leg. Lift it up, bring the knee to about hip height. Maybe that's where you stay. Check out your hips. Hips should be equal distant to the mat. Maybe extend the right leg long. Keep that leg nice and lifted. And then maybe you extend your left hand and you reach for your blocks. Maybe no blocks at all. You reach, fingers spread wide, thumb up to the sky, pushing hard into the earth, and you hold right here. Challenge your balance a little bit more, maybe by drawing your elbow to your knee, or at least close to it. Doesn't have to meet, just have good intentions. Reach the elbow toward the knee, and then stretch it out. Elbow to knee, and stretch it out. So you're going to tuck and reach. Finish when you're ready. Back to a neutral tabletop. Other side. Left leg lifts. Left leg extends. Equal press into the earth. Right arm reaches long. Reach through what you've got. Make your spine good and long. Good and long, make it strong. Elbow to knee under the belly button. And reach. Elbow to knee. And reach. Elbow to knee. Maybe you're reaching for those blocks. It's all good. Hand down, knee down. That was your bird dog pose. Let's go into our hips now. Grab your blocks, bring them by your sides. Come to standing on your knees. Bring your right foot forward, knee over ankle. These blocks are bringing the ground up to you. I'm thankful for them. Press into them. Send your left leg long. How does it feel on your knee? You don't like it on your knee? Take a towel. Slip it under your knee. That helps a lot. All right. So, right knee over right ankle. Hands are on the blocks. You're feeling a big stretch in your left hip flexor. All right, lengthen up and soften up as you exhale. You can stay right here. This is an intense pose right here as it is. Maybe you want to press on up to your fingertips. Maybe you want to bring your shoulders over your hips. This is an intense pose. Do what's right for you. Maybe arms lift on up to the sky and you take a little back bend. Maybe you bring your hands to prayer center and tell yourself something positive. I'm strong. I'm capable. I'm able. I'm taking time for me. Good on me. Good on you. All right. Maybe hands back to the blocks, you decide. Let's surf it out. Straighten the right leg and then rebend it. You can use these blocks to walk back with you as you straighten and bend the knee. Maybe bring your bottom down to your heel. Maybe walk the blocks forward and just continue to surf. And when you're ready, let's come back to the starting position. Let's take a little twist. Outside of the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Let the arm come down, fingers point to the earth. Let the other arm go up to the sky and look up to the fingers, maybe. Come back to prayer center. Be full of gratitude for the pose, for your body. And let's switch. Knees meet. Then the left foot comes forward. Knee over ankle. You're pressing into these blocks. Slip the other leg long. Bring the top of that foot onto your mat. Really send the leg long. You can hold on to your blocks. You can press on up a little bit or a lot. And stay right where you are. Maybe hands to prayer center. Maybe sweep the arms up. Think extended mountain in your arms. Maybe take that little back bend. Feel the big stretch in your right hip flexor. Hands back to prayer center for a little moment of gratitude here. Breathe. All right, your hip flexors. What are your hip flexors? They're in the front. That big stretch you're feeling in your right hip here. What do? They hip flexors flex your hips. And when do you think about doing that? The biggest time you are doing that is going up and down steps. You don't think about it. When you lift that leg up to go up steps, that's the hip flexor pulling closer to your body. All right, let's start to surf. Left knee straightens, left knee bends. Walk it on back using your blocks or no blocks. You know that. Blocks bring the ground up to you if you want them. Sit back or come back a little closer to the heel. You don't have to sit on it. And breathe into your hips. Take it to what feels exactly right here, right now. You know what you need, right? All right, let's come out of this. Come back to standing on your knees. Take a little back bend. Put your hands at your low back. Push your hips forward. Look up to the sky. Open up through your heart, your chest. Squeeze your elbows towards your spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, we do it every day just about. Let's do our 1 minute plank. It's up to you how you want to do it. You could lie down on your back and send your arms to the sky and balance the blocks on your hands and think of doing a plank. You can take it on your knees. Maybe today is a kinder, gentler day and you want to do that. Maybe hinge your weight a little more forward because you want to feel the strength in your arms and take your knee plank. Adjust your knees to however is right for you. If the wrists don't like it, come down to your forearms. Either stay on your knees or pop your toes towards your shins and lift on up to a dolphin plank. High plank is always an option. That's what I'm going to do today. All right, you take the plank variation that works for you. We set a 1 minute timer for you to time yourself. I'm going to turn this way so I can better see the timer. And you do however long is right for you. Take the breaks when you need. Let's come into position. I'm going to send my legs long, arms, my shoulders are over my wrists, feet are hip width distance apart. Let's start the timer now. All right, here we go. 1 minute, you can check out the screen. I'll give you little hacks on the time. Also, if you just want to keep looking at your thumbs, hold on here. Think of your spine as long. We are already about 20 seconds in. Push into the earth. You got this going on. Breathe. Just focus on your breath. Breathe through it. Your arms are strong. Your legs are strong. You can do it. Take the breaks when you need it. Guess what? You're already halfway there, 30 seconds. And you know if you're in a high plank, you could drop to your knees and take a little break. You could send your hips high to a down dog. Oh, that feels good. Maybe you do that. We've got 15 seconds to go. Breathe. Push the earth away a little bit more. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Shoulders are strong. Arms are strong. Core is engaged. Everything is tight in these last 5 seconds. Breathe. Guess what? Time's up. Come on down. All right. Everything is engaged in a plank. You know that, right? Keeps you strong. Just try. If it's a 10-second plank, it's awesome. All right. Come onto your bottom. Let's do boat pose. You can use your strap here again if you like. Place the strap under the center of your feet. Send your legs long. Hold on to the strap. Lean on back. Lift your heels on up. Elbows hugged in. And hold here in your boat pose. Now you don't have to use the strap. Hands can be behind your knees. Legs can be lifted. Lift your chest too. Keep your back straight. You could have your hands down on your mat. Legs are lifted. Hold here. Put a little bend in your knees maybe. You decide. Maybe arms. Reach further forward or higher up toward the sky. It's all good because you make it good. You do what is working for you. Take the variation that you like right here, right now. Nice. All right. Bring your legs on down. Shoulders over your hips. Maybe find your strap again. Toes up straight to the sky. Legs are long, a seated forward fold. Maybe you place the strap under your feet or maybe the towel. And then walk your hands down the strap as you fold forward. Fold forward. Think of your chest, coming toward your thighs. No rush, no hurry here. Just feel your breath. Breathe through it. Breathe in. Your chest is going to lift up. Hollow out your belly to let your chest come down even closer to your legs. Pull on the strap or no strap at all. Maybe capture your calves or your feet, or maybe you even drape your hands over the tops of your feet, having your wrists rest on the top of your toes. So your fingertips are at the sole of your feet. Breathe in, breathe out. Let it go and bring your shoulders up over your hips. All right, let's do a toes pose and an ankle pose. Come to your knees, using your blocks by your sides. Tuck your toes under towards your shins. Have a seat back on your heels. It's intense. If it's pain, don't do it. Come forward. I taught a class the other day in person, and about a third of the people couldn't do this. What they wanted to do is, hinge forward quite a bit because the feet are really, really tight. That's okay. Most people's feet are really tight because we are a society that wears shoes and boots, and our feet are constricted so much of the time. Go barefoot. Stretch out your feet. Breathe. Walk on different surfaces. That's important too. So maybe sit back a little bit more. Get that stretch going on. Using your blocks, let's go into an ankle pose. Release your feet. Bring the tops of your feet onto your mat. Sit back on your heels here. Use the blocks to bring the ground up to you. Push into the blocks and lift your knees on up. Ankle pose. So if you just think about your ankles and your feet for a second, you're getting a real intense stretch in both directions, that full range of motion in the feet and ankles. Let's go back to toes pose. Tuck the toes. Sit back on your heels. Let your own body weight intensify the stretch. You can use the blocks by your sides as we now come into ankle pose, tops of the feet on the mat. Hands can be at prayer center as you find a little balance. And lift the knees on up. Maybe hands or kind of a kickstand by your side. Breathe. Take it as far as feels right. Find that new range of motion. I'm going to come back to toes pose. Maybe you're staying in ankle pose a little longer. That's all right. Breathe. Soften in the shoulders. This is your practice. You do what feels best for you. Maybe your ankle pose looks more like thunderbolt. Maybe hands come down. You just try to lift the knees a little bit or a lot. It's your practice. Breathe. All right, let's do a couple standing poses. If you want to stay on the ground, here's what you can do. You can come into your pentacle pose. I'm going to stand in just a second. Your pentacle pose would be legs spread wide, arms high overhead, or a little bend in the elbows, reaching your limbs to all four corners of your room. That feels mighty good. Something else you could do is bend your knees, soles of your feet touch, knees open wide. Bend your elbows, bringing your elbows in line with your shoulders and pressing the backs of your hands into your mat. This is a little goddess pose, reclined goddess. So do either of those, or maybe you want to do your child's pose. I'm going to come up to a standing position, and we're just going to do a couple little standing poses. In fact, the first standing pose you could do lying down. All right, so we're going to do a figure four. All right, so even if you're on your mat, you could do this. For your figure four pose, what you want to do, you're going to put the weight into your left leg. You're going to bend in the knees and lift the right leg up. I'm going to cross the leg and make my legs look like a figure four. If you're reclined, you'll bend your left leg, sole of the foot on the mat, and crisscross your legs in a figure four. If you are lying down, you'd push the inner thigh open. I'm going to sit a little lower, hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, sinking lower, getting into the hips and the glutes. Humble warrior pose is next. To do that, you would take your hands, you really got to focus. Focus your eyes on something that's not moving. Bring your hands behind your low back and send your interlaced fingers up the back wall as you hinge forward and maybe try to look at your left foot. Arms work their way up your back wall. Slowly bring the hands back to prayer center. If you're standing, place the right foot next to the left. Come on up to standing. Take a brief extended mountain pose. Lengthen up. Hands to prayer center. Let's get back into it. If you're lying down, just do the other side. Bend the opposite knee, crisscross the ankle. I'm going to sit down a little bit in like a chair pose. Great for the quads, great for the glutes, right here. Maybe this is where you stay, because remember, take it in layers and stop where you need to stop. I'm going to put the weight of my right leg, lift my left, cross the ankle over the leg, and sit into a figure 4, staying right here. Countertop or a chair is a fine thing to keep your balance. Maybe interlace the fingers behind your low back. This is where the balance really kicks in. Lift your interlaced fingers up the back wall. Send your gaze down to your foundational foot. If you fall out, no big deal. Get right back in. Don't quit. Don't stop. Hands back to prayer center. Right foot meets left on the mat. Left foot meets right. Rise on up to standing. Brief, you will look taller pose. You can do this on your mat too. Bring your body into the shape of the letter Y. Bring your body into the shape of a letter W. Bring your arms into the shape of 2 letter L's. Tee out your arms and pulse your hands to the back of the room. So you've taken the first letter of each word, you will look taller, and created your body, like the YMCA song. You will look taller. One more time. You will look taller. And now hands down by your sides. Got to have tree pose. Love tree pose. Do this when you brush your teeth. Hands together at prayer center. Put your weight into your left foot, weight out of the right. Turn the knee of the right leg to the side of the room. So balance on the ball of your foot here, or bring the foot up into the calf or high into the thigh. Just don't place the foot. You know what I'm going to say, because I say it every time. Don't put the foot on the knee. Push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Focus up to where the ceiling and the wall meet and grab your balance here. Just extend your arms, sway them like branches of a tree. Maybe wiggle your fingers. Maybe circle your wrists. Something a little different. Your brain's not expecting it. Challenge it. Maybe give yourself a big hug here. Maybe tee out the arms and give yourself another big hug here. Not expecting that. Hands to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Right foot meets left. Other side. Chance to excel. Ooh, what are we going to do on the other side with our arms? It's up to you. All right, weight into the right foot. Open up the left knee to the side of the room. Maybe kickstand it. Maybe that's fine. I'm going to do that today. Why not? Breathe. Grow your branches if you like. Sway your branches one side or the other. Big sways in the arms. Maybe give yourself a big hug. Big hug on the other side. Breathe. Maybe come back to growing your branches and open and close your fingers. Just something different. When you're ready, bring your hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Left foot meets right on the ground. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Pop up onto the balls of your feet. Balance on the balls of your feet. Lift and lower. Hands can be at prayer center. You can be holding onto a table. Maybe you close your eyes when you come up and open them when you come down. Close them up, down. Maybe you do just the opposite. Maybe eyes are open on the up and close them on the down. Just try just a little bit of something unexpected. All right, finish up. Let's meet our friends back on the ground. So put a bend into your knees. Let's come on down and come into a brief fire log pose. All right, fire log, real intense in the hips. So think of your 2 shins as parallel to each other. You're going to stack them like logs of a fire. Not how you should build a fire, because they should be crisscross, but you're going to stack them on top of each other. So lift one leg up. So it's not as intense as shoelace that we sometimes do, because your shins are stacked on top of each other. Push your hands onto your legs. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. This is your fire log pose. Switch it out. Bring the one leg on the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom. Crisscross, resting the foot on top of the bottom knee. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it go. Back into the hips. When you're ready, are you ready? Maybe you want to stay here longer. It's fine. All right, send your legs long. Remember how we did this with the strap? You're welcome to use the strap again if you like, but I'm not going to use the strap. We're going to do it 3 ways. Lift the arms up to the sky. Seated forward fold. We do this often. Reach your fingers toward the front of the room. Look to the front of the room. Look towards your ankles, towards your knees. Capture your feet or your ankles, whatever feels good. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, shoulders back up over the hips. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Lift your arms up to the sky. Lengthen up with a big inhale. Exhale, hollow out the belly. Reach the arms forward or reach them farther forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach the arms farther forward. Reach your hands towards your feet, your calves, whatever you can reach. Hug the elbows in towards your legs. Bring your forehead towards your knee. Inhale. Come on back up, shoulders over your hips. Uncross your legs and recross them. Left leg on top of right. Arms lift up. Think of someone pulling you up to the sky. Exhale, hollow out the belly and reach forward. Inhale, find length in your spine. Exhale, find space in your belly. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. Reach for your feet, your calves, knees, elbows hugged in toward your knees. Exhale the air out of your lungs. Eyes perhaps are closed as you reach your forehead, your nose to your knee. Or something like that. Come on up, shoulders over your hips, legs go long, toes drawn up towards your shins, arms go high and lift. Exhale, do it again. Reach forward, reach, reach, reach. Feel the goodness in your low back. Just take a moment here. You're so preoccupied with the reach and, oh, how far can I go? I know you are. But feel what you feel in your back. Feel what you feel in your low back. That's what we're after. Maybe close your eyes and just breathe. Just the breath. Feel what you feel in your low back, and what's it going to take to make it feel more intense or better? Maybe reach farther, maybe reach less far. You decide. Gaze down towards your knees, capture your feet, hug the knees, hug the elbows in toward the knee, and then roll on up, shoulders over hips. Find your 2 blocks and spread your legs good and wide. Hinge forward here. Maybe forearms are on the blocks at whatever height is perfect. And maybe you bring your chest or your forehead down to your blocks. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe you remove a block or 2. You decide, adjust the height. Think of the blocks as bringing the ground up to you. If you don't have the blocks, that's fine. Just the blocks kind of give you some confidence. And the blocks make you think, if you don't have blocks, you're thinking, I just can't go to the ground. Not that the ground is the objective, but the block makes you feel like, hey, that's not too far, and I've reached far. I've been over far. All right, come on back up. Bring your legs back together. Let's come down to a supine twist, but bring your eye shade and your towel up by your shoulders, and bring your strap too. All right, come to fully recline. Take it nice and slowly. As you come on down, bend your right knee. Bend your right knee, hug it in. Maybe you use your towel to hug it in. Circle the ankle left and right. The leg that's long and extended, really plant that heel on the mat and plant your calf on the mat as well. Circle this ankle out and do a supine twist. Left hand captures the right knee. Take it slowly. Feel what you feel. Let it feel good. Twist until you're lying on your left hip. Right arm tees out. It helps keep your shoulder down. And back to your neck. I'm glad we moved our neck a lot. Turn your head even more to the right. Nice big twist here. Maybe you decide to stay here longer. Exhale. I'm going to come out of it, bringing the right hip down to meet the earth. Hug the right knee in toward the chest. Circle the ankle this way and that. Right leg goes long on your mat. It's the left leg's turn. Drag the left heel up towards your chest. Drag the knee, lift the knee towards your chest. Interlaced fingers under the left knee. Hug it in. Soften the shoulders. Right calf is down. Circle the ankle. This feels great. Maybe this feels great enough. If you'd like to do the twist part, right hand captures the left knee. Roll onto the right hip. Let the hand encourage the knee a little closer to the earth. Doesn't have to come down. But keep your left shoulder down. That's a big part of this. Tee out your left arm and look to the left. Finish by bringing your left hip down, knee back up to the sky, gaze back up to the sky. Hug the left knee in, circle the ankle this way and that. Legs go long on your mat, stick pose, stretch it out, palms touch, toes point. Give it a little wiggle because you can, and why not? Bend your knees, bridge pose. Your legs are strong, your thighs are strong, arms down by your sides. Push the weight into your feet and lift your hips up good and high. Slowly roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Tailbone down last. You can ensure you're doing that by keeping your belly button tucked to your spine till you get all the way down, and then release the belly button. All right, let your feet, which are on the mat, walk them to the edges of your mat. Toe, heel, toe, heel. Let your knees fall to the right. Let your knees fall to the left. Knees to the right. Knees to the left. Finish up, knees back up to the sky. Grab your strap. Bring the soles of your feet onto the strap. Send your legs high up to the sky and just pull on this strap. Elbows are down by your waist. Just pull on the strap. Maybe a little bend in your knees feels good. Pull the strap. Think of your toes coming overhead. Release the right leg down to your mat, nice and straight and long. Using this strap, just create like a half circle over your body with this extended left leg. So you roll onto your right hip a little bit, roll onto your left hip a little bit. Don't worry about the foot in the strap coming all the way down to the earth. It doesn't matter. Just a little arc over your body. Rolling onto the opposite hip, just enjoy that too. That should feel pretty good. Leg up to the sky, other leg up to meet it. Give them both a little tug as they meet there just for a second. Bring the left leg down to the mat, nice and straight and long. And then use your strap. Open up the right leg. Roll onto one hip, then the other. Just have a little hip flexibility there. And even out however many times you did it. However far you went, it's all right. Use that strap. And when you're ready, finish up. Send the left leg back up to meet the right. Let this feel good here. Pull the strap with both hands. Draw the toes toward the shin. A little bend in your knees might feel good. And just pull those legs up, up, up. Trying to get your thighs closer to your chest. And then finish. Let the heels float on down. Remove your strap. Heels float down to the earth. And breathe. Nice low body little movement today, right? And shoulders too. Oh my goodness. I can't forget all that stuff we did with the strap or your resistance band. All right, send your heels toward the edges of your mat. And we're going to take our final Shavasana pose. Use your eye shade to cover your eyes or your little towel. Arms down by your sides. Just move your shoulders a little bit and maybe kind of tuck them under your back. Get comfortable. Feels good to let your pinky toes kind of externally rotate and come closer to the earth. Palms face up. You feel receptive. You just feel kind of fresh and new. But if today you want more grounding and you just feel I need a little more support in my life, and who doesn't? Maybe bring your palms down to the earth to just feel rock solid. So just try one or the other and just take a couple breaths there, see how it feels, and just kind of know what you can do with your body to calm your mind. And also know that if your palms are face up, if you're aware of your shoulders, you're externally rotating your shoulders a little bit with the palms face up. And that's kind of how we want to be. It helps us have better standing posture. Eyes closed. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften in your jaws and that area between your eyebrows. Let it be soft. Try not to think about anything. Try to just focus on your breath and be free for just a few moments. If you have your remote control handy and you want to stay longer in your final Shavasana pose, put the video on pause. If it's time for you to conclude your practice, take a deep, refreshing breath in, really deep, and a big sighing breath out, really releasing everything you got. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to move your wrists and your ankles this way and that. Spread your fingers and toes wide, squeeze and scrunch them to the sole of your foot into the palm of your hand. Reach high overhead, take a big good morning stretch as if it were the first stretch of your day. Point your toes to the bottom, reach your fingers to the top. Bend your knees, and as you exhale, roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Low arm is bent, your head is resting on that bicep. Top shoulder is soft, away from the ear. Eyes are closed. Savor this breath, this moment. Make your way any way you want up to a comfortable seated position. Just be aware of how you get there. Bend your knees and sit however is comfortable for you right now. Hands to prayer center in gratitude. Lengthen up through your spine because your spine is long and strong and healthy. Soften in your shoulders. Rest your knees toward the earth. Breathe in. Breathe out. You've got it going on. Blink your eyes open. You did it. 1 hour. Good on you. All right, you know you can't stop the clock, but you can slow down the ticking. You can slow down the ticking by doing your yoga, by moving. Remember what our friend said in the beginning of the practice? Time is inevitable, right? It's happening. But how well are you going to spend it? How good are you going to feel as that time clicks on? All right, so that's it. Stress number. What was it? What is it? You're rocking it. Okay, thanks everybody. See you on your mats tomorrow for a different practice. I promise it'll be different. Every day is different, so come back and check it out. All right, she's going to check it out right now. From us to you, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love you. Bye. Hello, girl. How are you? Hey, Bonnie. Come on, Bonnie. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. All right, you guys. Bye. Glad you're still here. Okay, think this. I am my own best teacher. You are your own best teacher. Yes, you are. You're modifying the poses. You're making the practice work. Tell people what's working for you. I'm glad this yoga is working for you. I'm glad you're feeling better because I know that you are. Tell your friends about our yoga. It's free for anybody and everybody. They can check us out on Facebook and on YouTube and do us at their convenience. They can do their yoga whenever the fancy strikes them. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. See you on your mats tomorrow, and remember, you are your own best teacher.